So I was reading another article, which led me to this article. And as you can see, it says San Jose homeless encampment cleared out for dog park. Now, this is typical dog nuttery, right? Dog nuts are always putting dogs over human beings. Now, I realize, some people get upset about homeless, but a lot of these homeless people, they have health issues, and they have a difficult time participating in the economy like healthier people. And there's other issues too, like there's not enough housing. The housing is too expensive. The Airbnbs and short-term rentals are pushing out long-term rentals. I know people around here who are homeless who have full-time jobs. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, I'm not going to rant so much about homelessness. The point I'm making here is that dog nuts are putting dogs over human beings. Now, let me look at this article. They are saying, let's see, possibly the largest dog park in the South Bay, probably anywhere, because what I saw here was that it's 5 acres. 5-acre dog park. Now, people, I went out and looked at some property recently because I want to get out of the city. I want to be a farmer. I'm tired of my city is growing. I really hate it. I don't like living in city environments. I'm a rural person. And I want to have farm animals. I want to grow my own food, raise my own animals, and I just don't like living in the city. So anyway, I went out and looked at some property, and there was a couple of 2.5-acre lots out there. Put that together, 5 acres is a lot of space, people. I mean, you could build an apartment building on 5 acres and still have a parking lot. You could build two apartment buildings on 5 acres, and still have parking lot for people who have a car. Now, I like this person. I don't know. I guess this is just a resident of San Jose. Eugene Blackwell says, I don't think it's right putting dog lives over human lives. Thank you. And I don't care if they're homeless people or anyone else. You never put a mutt's life over a person's life. A stabbing death of a homeless man canceled the plans to open the park. Like, oh my God, Crimea River. Homeless advocates contend the anxiety created by the city's sweeps is partly to blame. So the city's going through this place and forcing homeless people to just leave. They're not exactly giving them housing or anything. And look at this. They're definitely treating dogs better than they're treating people, said Sean Cartwright, the director of the Unhoused Response Group. Just cramming a bunch of people into a small space to make a giant space for dogs. And isn't that disgusting? It really does disgust me. We have a huge homelessness problem in the city that I live in. We didn't used to. This used to just be a small town. It's just turned into a city, and the wealth disparity is growing. So the people who are homeless here are people I've watched it in my neighborhood. Like these little tiny houses in my neighborhood are being sold to developers, and developers are building big houses on them and kicking out the renters. And some of these people are still homeless years later because the jobs here don't pay very well, or they're people with really some major health problems, and now they're homeless. And come to think of it, we've got property in the city where we've got a dog park in the city where they could have built housing for people, because the housing has become so expensive here. I bought my house for a reasonable price, and then all of a sudden it skyrocketed. My house is worth 3 times what it was when I bought it. Anyway, Mayor Matt Mahan has led a move with other city leaders to make public space such as the dog park as well as city trails more open to the public. If it's public space, it's always open to the public. People just don't want to go in there because there's homeless in there. And, I can't blame them. I don't go through the homeless encampments. Those used to be trails, like walking trails through wooded areas. And I used to walk in those trails years ago, but it's filled with homeless encampment. Now, I don't walk through there because there's quite a number of people back there. They're mentally ill, they're abusing substances, and it's just not a good idea to walk through there. But that doesn't mean that I don't have compassion for them or that I think that the city should push them out of there to build a dog park or making it more open to the public. I mean, yes, my taxes paid for that public space. And that's why I don't like it being a dog park or people do let their dogs run loose back there. That, in fact, as a matter of fact, I made a video about that because some guy had a pit bull back there. Because there's a trail that runs alongside that homeless encampment, and I do ride my bike down that trail. And some guy had a pit bull running loose back there. Anyway, the city is working. He said the city is working with agencies to help unhoused people relocate to safe, dignified places and find alternatives to sprawling encampments. Like, that's not going to happen. We're in some kind of dystopian death spiral in this country. It's not just my city, it's everywhere. Why are there empty houses and there are people living in tents and underneath tarps and stuff? And yet we're making 5-acre dog parks. If we got rid of all the freaking dogs, we could build housing for people. It just infuriates me, honestly. I guess that's it. It's just so stupid. 5 acres is a lot of property. Quite a bit of property. I saw with my own eyes what 5 acres looks like. You could build 2 apartment buildings easily on that, where people could live, not letting dogs run around crapping everywhere. It's just gross.